Sometimes it's fun to get crafty in the garden, and making seed balls is a fun way to get an explosion of plants and flowers. They're simply balls of seed that are packed and dried, and they can be tossed wherever you want them to grow or given away as gifts. Here are a few I made last week. They're dried and ready to go, but to make them, all you need is clay, either air-dried clay from a craft store or dried local clay from your garden, but it needs to be fine. Compost or potting mix, just sieve out any large particles, and a pinch of seed. So I've got everlasting daisies, paper daisies, native iris and billy buttons. And this is optional, some petals to make your seed balls pop with colour. Time to get making. First off, I'm going to mix together the native plant seeds. Cut off some air drying clay and roll it into a ball. I like it to be about the size of a walnut. Once you've done that, you simply flatten it out a bit like a thick pancake, and then add some of your petals for decoration. Once they're secure, turn over the clay and put about ½ teaspoon of compost in the middle of the clay. Then put a pinch of seeds on top and then pull the sides of the clay up and join them together. Squeeze it tight to make sure there's no air gaps inside and roll it back into a ball. Ta-da! And they need to dry for 24 hours. Ideally, use them within 3 months and store them somewhere dry because you don't want them to sprout before you're ready for them to. You can simply toss the seed balls on the soil in your garden where you want them to grow. There's no need to bury them. And depending on the variety of seed, they'll germinate in 1 to 3 weeks if there's rain. And if you want to get them started sooner, water them in. The rest of these I'm actually going to use as gifts for family and friends. Now, if you don't have clay, you can use paper, which can break down a bit faster than clay in the garden. Any type of paper will do. You can even use old newspaper. Soak the paper for about 30 minutes in water. Then pulp the sodden paper. Strain it in a tea towel and squeeze out the excess moisture. Add your pulped paper to a bowl and then mix in equal parts of either compost or potting media. For these paper seed balls, I'm using herbs this time. I've got parsley, rocket and oregano. It's a great way to use up leftover seed. And if you're buying seed, look for the words direct sow on the packet. And of course, choose seeds that are suited to your local climate and are not local weeds. I'm just moulding them into a ball about the size of a walnut, just like I did with the clay versions, and then letting them dry. Now they do look a bit like protein balls, so make sure they don't get eaten by mistake. To mix things up, you can try using cookie cutters or silicone moulds to get different shapes. You could present them as a bonbon or in an egg carton. Seed balls are simple and easy to make, and if you want to get the kids involved, you could turn it into a craft-a-noon. But best of all, seed balls make brilliant, budget-friendly gifts.